I really think that arts connect kids with what it is to be human and who they are at their core.
I don't know if I want a sandwich because of last time. I don't know what I want. Dimples, do you want a flyer about my CD?
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yay, the lines are short. Hi, can I have a sandwich please with mayonnaise and kiwi? Yeah, thank you. Oh, how embarrassing is this? More. Thanks a lot, sis. Thank you. You too. Do you want a flyer about my CD?
Oh yeah, sure. Wait.
Thank you.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Thank you. Going on air today again.
Again, I thought you on the radio have to go.
No.
That's fun.
Yeah, it can be. It all depends. Like sometimes he'll say, okay, you guys can just like play music. And then yesterday he was like, no, you have to follow this format and you have to like play certain type of music like holiday music. So when he lets us do whatever we want, then it's fun because then you get to like.
I thought Brenda and Jocelyn were on there too.
No, they're on air after me. I go on air first and then they're on air at like 1 o'clock. The Boys and Girls Aid Society is looking for people interested in becoming adoptive or foster parents and mentors. One positive adult can make a lasting impact on a child's life. Up next, we have one of my songs for my debut album, Ascension. It's called Trance. This is Teen Sound on KBPS in Portland, broadcasting live from Studio 18 on the campus of Benson High School. On the radio has really allowed me to express myself, be myself more through, you know, talking on the microphone. And I make mistakes and I learn from my mistakes. And I don't know, like it helps me to kind of better my personality, kind of, I would say. When I'm feeling down, you turn my heart around with the things that you say.
Alexis's music is excellent. It fits right in with what, you know, the other music we're playing. She's got a very good personality for radio. Alexis likes to talk, and I think that's what makes her do well on the radio.
Alexis was a very special child growing up. She was born April 10th, 1997, and when I bought her home, that changed my life forever. Before she could talk, she was singing. She would hear music on the radio, and she was 7, 8 months old, and she would hum the music or try to repeat the words. And by the time she was 2, 3 years old, you know, she was singing, you know, different, like, you know, songs with her karaoke machine. She's been writing music since she was about 5 years old. She's always written, whether it was different lullabies or whatever.
So, I like to call this my song door. As you can see, I have basically a collage of a lot of the songs that I've written. These songs are actually old songs that I either never finished or I never wanted to get rid of.
Can you sing a bit for us?
Okay, it might not be kind of right, you know, because I wrote it when I was 12, but here it goes. So it's like, Everybody got a problem, everybody know my name. Don't mention to your boo that I'm the hottest chick up in the game. 12 going on 13, don't be scared, you know you want a shot. You're claiming that you're fire, I can easily put you out. Flashing out my jewelry cause I enjoy how you envy me. It won't be hard to make it, I'm already a VIP, I'm fresh. And then it goes into like the chorus, so.
I have to say the one thing that I love about singing is it's a way for me to express myself in an emotional manner due to the way the song is made or how I tend to particularly write a song. It's just a way for me to not have so much aggression and not have so much anger built up inside, and just a positive way. It's a positive way to express myself. And I try to write stuff that actually happens in life that actually has emotion and meaning to it. I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. Just pray to a God that I don't believe in. I'm not doing music to get an income, I'm doing music for an outcome, to change people's lives. No, it don't break even, no. What am I supposed to do when the best part of me was always you, yeah? What am I supposed to do?
It is important to be exposed to the arts and for every human being to have that opportunity. And I think that our society does a disservice by having to pigeonhole people and desegregate people and not get, you know, all of these programs and that start and then end because of some fake financial issue. But it really, a lot of it has to do with where the schools are located.
As costs have gone up over time, the relative funding level has gone down. Really, the first decision you make in an elementary school, in a school serving kids in grades K through 5, is you need classroom teachers because that's your primary staffing. And as the staffing allocations were reduced, then the majority of the staffing was going to provide for classroom teachers. Anything beyond that was at risk.
I think a lot of curriculum activities that are paid for at this school don't have as many as students as they have expected, or they don't get the outcome that they've expected, but honestly it's not something that kids my age are interested in. So my main focus would be to focus on stuff like performing arts and musical classes. Just, I don't know, they just spend their money on stuff that's not relevant.
If you look at the way our schools are set up right now, not every student wants to be a great writer one day. Not every student wants to be a mathematician. Not every student wants to be a scientist. But we have a lot of students that really want to go into different arts, like visual art, theater, music, dancing, all these kind of things. And we just don't have those options for them. So those students, the ones that feel like they have no reason to really come to school because we don't have any options of what they want to do when they grow up, they end up, you end up with a lot of behavior issues. You end up with low academic testing, low academic scores, low grades. You end up with dropping out, kids just dropping out because they feel like, hey, it's not even worth it.
thing that has started the decline in school funding in Oregon was Measure 5 and Measure 50, the property tax limitations in the early 1990s. For a few years, the economy was growing so strongly that the immediate impact of those measures was not as drastic as people at first feared. But over time, those limitations seriously impacted the funding stream for K-12 education and continue to do so to this date, even after some improvements in the last couple of years.
My dream for the future is to become a pediatrician for mentally and physically disabled children, or to take a career path in helping youth my age pursue their dreams as far as music. A lot of people look at kids that come from quote unquote the hood or the ghetto, or they come from the bad neighborhoods in the city, so they're looked down upon, and their talents are, oh, well, they're just another so-and-so trying to be, trying to make a quick buck. But I think that, that if I can help people my age as I grow older and be a role model to older people, that'd be the greatest achievement that I think a person could do.
So this is my Facebook fan page. I have 520 likes. The goal is to have 1,000 likes, so I'm going to invite my friends to like it a little bit later.
So take us through another song and kind of play us a snippet. And
So that song was called Bright Lights featuring Bros. And I remember my producer, which is the guy that I was working with, his name is Reggie, telling me that I need to talk a little bit more about, different things other than boys, because I used to only write songs about boys.
Okay, so this is the biggest struggle I have with Lexi as an artist, was in her age group, right? The main content that she's thinking of is boys. So I'm like, okay, we got to think of a couple different types of, a party. Let's think about a party song for Bright Lights. She said, why don't party? I just do homework and talk to boys. I said, okay, let's pretend, if you could party and you could hang out with your friends, what would that song sound like? And she went and she knocked it out of the park, and we recorded it and did the video, and it was really fresh, so.
Without the arts, I'd have a lot of free time where there might be things I want to do, but very little motivation to actually do them. And I have an outlet like dance, or I've done theater before, and it's very similar. When you have that outlet, you have somewhere to put all of the feeling that you don't really get to release or work with or express in the rest of school.
Dance has it's helped me cope with a lot of things, and it lets my mind be free of stress and worry. Without having access to dance or not being able to dance, I think that I would do a lot of things that I normally wouldn't do, and I wouldn't probably be the person I am today.
If I didn't have access to the arts, I would probably be a completely different person than I am today. Because back in middle school, I would hang out with the wrong people and I would do things that I shouldn't do. But since coming to Franklin and being able to get into dance, I don't get in trouble anymore. I have good grades, and it made me who I am today because I can express who I am and not go home and fight with anybody, and I can get everything out here.
So guys, the third one you hear,
biggest value that the arts bring to Portland Public Schools and public school system period is providing an education that kids would not otherwise be able to receive. If you want to take outside classes today, just one class, an hour a week, is $60 up to $75 a month at an outside school or studio. Visual arts classes too, and most families these days can't provide that. You know, especially in this neighborhood and in our Portland neighborhoods, there's so many families who have multiple children, who have single parents, who are working all the time but still can barely pay the bills, and you know, forking over that extra $60, and that's just for one art. You know, if you are interested in dance and you want to do tap, ballet, modern, hip hop, there's no way. You're looking at $1,000 a month. And so the most important value that it has is that kids are able to receive multiple styles of versatile education and something that would otherwise be unable to them. It's the reason why I smile. It's, you know, it might sound cliche to say, but honestly, I have never known anything else, and I can't picture myself being happy. I can't picture myself smiling. It'd be a pretty gray world to live in if I had not have had access to it or had it provided to me from a young age. It's something I can't even imagine.
Abstract art sometimes is wild and crazy, and that's that person's intention. They wanted to be wild and crazy, but they thought about it, right? They were careful when they thought about it. They were like, well, I want this to look wild.
My name is Kelly May, and I teach K through 8 art at Cesar Chavez. Are there trains coming out of fireplaces in real life? No, but does that look kind of like a real train? Yeah, so it's realistic parts but abstract, where this one is all kind of abstract, but it looks kind of like what? Like a creature or a person or something like that, right? So I think some students get a lot more out of their education in general when they have art as an option, whether it's music or dance or visual arts, because that's something that where they're comfortable, where they're able to express themselves, maybe they excel at. That's something that happened for me in high school. That was the area I excelled in, and I then was, you know, more engaged in school because of it. And so I think there's just that element of keeping students in school so that they're getting more out of all of their classes.
But when you're ready for color, you want to get that started soon. We have about 7 minutes left, okay, until we clean up. Questions? No? Go.
not all the votes have been counted, but it is very rare to get the first batch of ballots in with 58% support. This is a campaign that is truly grassroots. This has been a campaign that cares more about arts education, it cares more about arts access than it does about endorsements from mainstream media. This has been a grassroots campaign, and so far, it's not final, but so far, we're winning.
I'm Jessica Jarrett Miller. I'm the Executive Director of the Creative Advocacy Network and the Campaign Manager for Schools and Arts Together. It was a ballot measure passed in the City of Portland to restore arts education to our public schools and to fund the arts for every resident citywide. To be more specific, there will be a new $35 income tax for income-earning residents of the City of Portland who are above the poverty level. This money will create a $12.2 million revenue stream every year that will be invested in hiring certified arts teachers at the elementary school level for every elementary school student in public schools at the City of Portland.
But we checked and only 83.5% of the pie goes to schools. Startup costs more than 7%. Bureau collection costs more than 4%. That figure goes up if Portlanders don't start paying up.
I support the arts, but I think as a matter of basic fairness, it's not good to have a tax like that. So I'm not surprised there's been a bit of a backlash as the tax has been implemented.
Do you know what the arts tax is funding or what it's doing in Portland?
The arts for kids in school doing artful things.
And do you know what the arts tax is going to, what your money is going towards?
No, I just paid him because I have to, but I don't know what's going to.
Well, to my knowledge, it will support I actually don't have any knowledge about it, but I would guess it would support the arts.
How long have you been a Portland resident?
I've been living here for about 4 years.
And have you heard of the arts tax?
I have not heard of that before, no.
My name is Todd Clement. I'm a Portland resident. I really like the arts, and I don't really like taxes. Art is amazing. You know, it's valued and it's valuable. So just in the creation of the art that the students in the schools are doing and things like that, there's possibilities to learn a lot about entrepreneurialism, selling the art that they make, raising funds that way. So there's just many different aspects, I think, that were kind of overlooked, and maybe thinking outside the box other than just going to a tax might be the best alternative.
Did you vote for the tax?
I did not. I voted against it. Main reasons were another tax that, like I had said, that the funds they think just throwing more money at a problem that exists isn't the answer. And that it's a burdensome tax for quite a few of the people that would have to pay it.
Have you paid your arts tax since then?
I have paid my art tax every time and on time.
And can you describe the unique way that you have paid your tax?
Well, the first time I paid my art tax, I was quite livid about having to do that. At the time, our budget was so tight, and it was very stressful to add $70 a year. I was mad, so I decided to pay it in pennies. So I got this big old box of pennies, and I took them down to the Revenue Bureau downtown, got an elevator, took it up to whatever, I can't remember what floor they were on, walked into their office and waited in line with this box that must have weighed 60 pounds, I don't know, it was getting pretty heavy. And people were looking at me as I was standing there in line, looking at this guy with this big, huge, heavy box, kind of wondering what was going on. You know, it was my time to go up. I brought my box of pennies and I set it up on the counter, and it made a big thud, and all their decorations on the counter jumped up and landed. And you know, I got quite a reaction from the people there, and it wasn't very positive. And the guy came up and he said, "Now we have to go down to the bank and we have to get this all counted." And he looked at me like, "Pick up your pennies." I looked at him and said, "I've delivered my payment, you take them down." So he grabbed them, and I went down with him to the bank, and we were waiting in line at the bank. And when we got up there, he put the pennies up on the counter, and the teller goes, "Another one?" And then she went on to say something not all that nice about that kind of a person, and the guy that brought the stuff down with me went like that. And she saw that it was me right behind him. I just kind of went by, and she was very quiet after that.
When I was 13 years old, I had an English teacher named Ms. Shebach, and she inspired me to do something that I loved because life is too short to waste it on something that you don't want to do. She gave my whole English class a lecture telling us that there's so many people in the world who live day to day and they don't do anything that they love to do. And that's why she went into teaching, because she loves kids. And when I went home that day, I really sat and I thought about what it was that I actually loved, and I realized that it was music and it was writing songs. So from that day forward, I decided that I would write songs every day and perfect my craft because I knew that it was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. The biggest obstacle I faced in pursuing my career in singing is just basically finding that support within my peers. You want a flyer? No? Okay. Do you guys want a flyer about my music project? Alright, yeah. Do you want one? Yeah. Thank you. Do you want a flyer about my music project? Yeah. Thank you. When you are really young and you know that there's something that you want to do for the rest of your life, I feel like there's people that kind of envy that because maybe they don't know what they want to do for the rest of their life. So instead of trying to find what it is they love to do, they try to bring your dream down and make you feel like you're not capable of pursuing it. I feel like that's basically the biggest challenge that I face. I have an album out that I'm trying to, bring out to the world, and I'll try to sell it at school. And some people that a week ago, they don't really, they're not against my music. They're basically encouraging me to do my music, encouraging me to sell my music, wanting me to bring my music to school. And when I do bring it to school, they're like, I'm sorry, I don't really want to buy it. I don't have the money, or I just don't want it. So that's definitely something that happens a lot.
My son Nigel, I have a 15-year-old, he was born when Alexis was 2, and they have an unbreakable bond. They used to perform together when they were younger as well. Nigel used to rap, and then she would write songs, and so it was funny just watching them grow and evolve and turn into their own little people. They argue just like typical siblings do, but they always have each other's back and they support each other with everything. If Nigel has a football game or basketball game, Alexis is there cheering him on to make sure that he's doing great. If Alexis has a performance, her brother's there cheering her on to make sure that she's doing a good job.
Is he looking at you? SCI was the first place that I performed. It was the first place that I wrote a song, the first place that I recorded music, the first place that I did anything music related. So I feel like without SCI, I would have really been lost. I honestly don't know what I would be doing right now, but I know it wouldn't be music.
Alexis, I started working with her in seventh grade, and she is now a junior in high school. And so to see the progress that she's made, I mean, it's mind-blowing. She sings with such passion, she sings with such vigor, with such, I mean, just with all of her. I mean, and when you hear her voice, it's almost angelic. And so to be able to work with her and kind of guide her, and also to be able to expose her to different avenues to be able to utilize that gift. And she has done just that.
I would definitely consider Mr. Zoe like family. He's been one of my supporters since I first began singing. I have loved singing ever since I was 2, but I didn't really know how to sing until I was about 13. And he's helped me with finding my voice.
A couple of weeks ago, dance classes were invited to the auditorium to watch an African-Caribbean dance group in an exhibition performance. Jefferson dance students not only got to watch, but some also danced. Let's take a look at some of the dancing for those of you who haven't already seen it.
I was at Jefferson High School from 1979 to 1994, and that really was the heyday of the Jefferson Magnet Program era. And I know that we were just, buzzing with the arts down corridors and in dance studios we affectionately called the Dungeon. And we had a middle school outreach program as well that took teachers in theater, in dance, in music, out into every middle school and provided weekly instruction to those students. It was pretty incredible.
So in the Jefferson program, it was oh my gosh, what a time that was. It was a time for the kids and for us of excitement, because we were creating a program that became nationally recognized.
My name is Janelle Yarbrough, and I am a dancer, choreographer, and creative mind. There was so much energy and personality and so many different flavors of people. It was not only diverse by color, but it was diverse by the groups of people that attended that school. There were artists, there were athletes, there were theatrical people. It was awesome to attend Jefferson in those days.
My name is Saida Wright. I am a singer, songwriter / vocal coach. The legacy of the arts at Jeff was exciting, and you get there and it's like, you see these big satellite dishes and you're like, ooh, TV programs and, the dancers and everything. And you think production, you think, stage, lights, people, filled auditoriums. Of course, I did choir the whole time I was there and sang in plays, and I did do 2 years in the orchestra, and it was great.
My experience at Jefferson High School was probably some of the greatest experiences I've ever had, musically and performing arts-wise. Starting with drama, I got to be in drama class, and that was my freshman year, and that was probably the first exposure I've had to any type of acting or anything like that, and it was just great.
They saw my talent, and they knew that it wasn't me just acting out in school. They knew that I was hurting in a different way. They taught me to channel that energy, that pain, that hurt into art. I truly believe that had those people not intervened and been there for me and supported me and encouraged me and took my hand and drugged me to the places that I needed to go and be, I have to sit and wonder what my life would be today if they had not been there for me and continued to help me grow.
My name is Jo Strum Lane, and I am the theater arts teacher at Roosevelt High School. Well, when I first got here, they didn't have a theater program, hadn't for about a decade, and so I was hired to bring it back. So literally the first students were coming to these classes not knowing what to expect. The first play that we did, they auditioned, there were 13 of them, I cast them all, and they said, now what do we do? Because they had no idea. And within 4 years, that first core group that I had, unbeknownst to any of us, is they wound up going on and taking a main stage to state. So they were one of the top 3 shows in state that year. And we also went on to nationals. We were the first in Portland Public Schools to bring a show to the main stage nationally. So in a very short period of time, those students really rose to that challenge. And it really was kind of amazing to watch that take place. At the same time, you know, it's a struggling school on the whole. And, you know, but it's really on the rise, and theater is one of those components where students have kind of found their place, their second home here. And I see that the program will grow for the acting program, but I'm also seeing the design and the tech really grow, and students really gravitating toward that as well. So it gives them a real opportunity in both directions to really thrive.
Hello, my name is Kyle Gilmore. I'm an 11th grader.
I know he tries, but he can't.
It's exhilarating. At first, there's a lot of nerve-wracking that's happening. It's like, oh my gosh, am I going to mess up? Am I going to mess up? What's going to happen? But the second I step out on that stage, it's just all that nervousness turns right over into exhilaration, and I'm just so excited to be able to perform.
My name is Alexis Cannard. I am a sophomore. It feels like, I mean, it really depends on like who I get to be in that moment, but there's so much power no matter who or what you're portraying. You have this sense of control, and there's an adrenaline rush, and it always feels really great after too.
Jeremy Hogweida, and I'm a senior at Roosevelt High School. If I wasn't in theater, I don't think I'd be nearly as abrasive as I am. I don't think I would be nearly as outgoing as I am. I just, you know, it's really helped me to kind of, I mean, I guess everyone talks about how theater helps them step out of their shell who's in it, but it really does kind of help you to not just move forward, but to also kind of take responsibility, because if you mess up, you're not just messing up on a paper, you're messing up in front of all these people. And it also kind of teaches you how to, I don't know, just get out there.
And then I got so excited I lost. But then I beat him 8 times in a row.
I really like it out here. Like the water fountain. You see, like, this is one of those parks where it never seems like it's any drama. Like, people are real peaceful. They mind their own business. The kids run around. Like, I really like this park. I really like the setting and the maze and the way the whole park is set up, you know? Mm-hmm. It's not even a worm. I got it here for no reason. But it feels good, huh? No, it's cold. My feet are cold. And I got on socks. And my feet are cold.
How do you feel about life? How do you feel right now where you're at in this stage of life? What are your feelings?
My feelings are pretty numb. As far as on a day-to-day basis, waking up to the same negative energy, it gets kind of aggravating, you know? It gets kind of frustrating. You don't feel like yourself. You start doing things that you normally don't do. You lose track of who you are as a person and what you've established for yourself. It kind of feels like all my goals and all my dreams that I've set out for myself and the achievements that I have overcome and everything that they said I couldn't do that I have done kind of makes me feel like I've done it for no reason.
I will never be royal. It's running out there. So kind of like yourself for us. Because it's different kind of vibe. Let me be your ruler. Call me queen bee, baby, oh.
My father had a substance abuse problem. My mom is developing one. So she goes through her little mood swings. I don't know if anybody has experience being around a parent or a relative or a friend that has substance abuse problems, but it makes you not be the person that you are. It takes you out of your element, and to them, everything is fake. Nothing seems real, and they feel like everything is supposed to fall into place, and when it doesn't, they have like these emotional breakdowns and these meltdowns, and then they get paranoid and anxiety, but then they want to flip out on you, so you walk around for a long time thinking that you're the problem, and that's how I was. I used to walk around, I used to be sad all the time, because I was like, what am I going to go home and do to make my mom feel better? And I was so busy worried about her that I got so far off track of what I needed to do. And I feel like everything that I do, I have to do it for myself. And that's the only thing you can do when you deal with situations or you deal with people like that. You have to do what's best for you. You have to overlook them and their mental illness and do what's best for you. I mean, there's nothing else that you can do about it except for honestly pray for that person. And that's what I'm doing for my mom now, is praying that she gets better.
My name is Maria Galati, and I teach at David Douglas High School. This is my 15th year, and I've taught many classes here. I specialize in calligraphy and drawing.
Notice the cool colors in shadow and warm colors in the highlight areas, and a really identified light source here. Where's the light coming from in this piece?
I really came to David Douglas because I heard it was a really wonderful place, a real family-oriented place where there was a strong sense of community among the faculty and with the students. The arts are really a commitment in this district, and that's been really exciting to feel the continuity and feel the commitment. I think certain populations of kids suffer a lot more than others when there's limited art programs. Certainly the right brain kid. It's a tough place for a right brain kid in education today. This is a very language intensive environment. These kids have 8 classes, and that's a lot of transitions from usually one left brain experience to the next. For kids that don't connect a lot with that left brain experience and the language intensive environment, the arts are so important. In this climate right now, arts don't seem to me to be quite as valued as where are you, kid, gonna fit into the economy?
So the structure of the school is we have a rotating A-B schedule. Our class periods are 85 minutes in length. So students really have an opportunity to have a little bit of an extension of class period versus a comprehensive high school, which is generally about 50 minutes and 6 periods a day. The other thing that's really important is we encourage kids in our structure, they need to take all of the art forms, and we offer from Explore all the way through Focused. But at a minimum, they would take Explore, and what that's actually trying to do is educate them in a way that they can be fairly literate in all the arts, or at least have an awareness about how they are put together. I think we're teaching them really good skills to become successful human beings through the lens of art.
What's your graduation rate?
100%. And I also say, you know, it's interesting, in our science and math scores, our science and math scores are the highest amongst the highest in the state. I'd say the top 5 schools in the state.
When I very first came to the art school, I was strictly a musician, and music was what I wanted to do, and that was it. And even though I've always really liked math and science, I never really saw how they fit together. And being integrated between arts and academics all in the same day really helps me to see how not only does art and math fit together, but also how my English classes and how history has affected the arts and the progression of every art form, not even music.
You know, I've been to other schools and I've seen what they're like, and I just think that this is such a positive and safe place to be, much more than any other place that I've been.
Like, as I look back, the thing that's been really important to me that I've gotten out of this school is that I'm now more of an independent person than I started, and I'm more of an independent thinker and a creative thinker, and I think that I really know how to express myself and my ideas, and that I have ideas that are meaningful to me.
It's hard to sum up the 7 years I've spent here in one greatest moment, because I think one thing that this school really does is it enables you to have a lot of great moments and a lot of great memories, and a lot of things that when I leave I'm going to be really, really proud of.
I'm Nguyen. I'm an artist. My approach to the arts starts as a portrait artist, and to me that means starts as someone who is fighting against the way that, for most of us, or a lot of us, our moms love our art, right? But maybe no one else does besides our moms and ourselves. And so as a portrait artist, I fight against that because I'm certain that every piece, every portrait anyway, that I create is going to have a fascinated audience of at least one, and who's not me. It's going to be the subject who's fascinated by the work. Love it, hate it, they're going to have a strong reaction. And that is what is important to me, that really engaged audience. And it may only be one person, but I'm satisfied with that.
There's an image in my mind of what I want in life, how the road will turn. It's my biggest concern.
Singing for me is breathing. I feel like I'm having a great conversation with my girlfriends, or I feel like I'm in love. When I'm singing, it's a different place for me. It's a spiritual moment almost every time.
I would say anything that has ever happened in life was chronicled by music. How can you teach history? How can you teach modern civilization and not teach music, not teach the arts? You're not training up those who are meant to document. We've been documenting life via art forever. The children need to know how to express themselves, how to articulate what is happening around them.
What you learn in the arts are traits and qualities and characteristics that, say you never wanted to dance again a day in your life, what you've gained from that in expressing yourself and communicating things, it teaches you how to do that in a healthy way. And it gives you a craft, a skill, a gift, a talent, not only for yourself, but something that you can turn around and share with others.
The arts are an important part of the public education system because ostensibly we live in a democracy, which means that we live in a society that is formed by its people, by their ideas, by their voices, and that means that its people need to have voices that they've developed. And so maybe the kids are not going to go on to be artists, or maybe they are, but they do need to know how to express themselves. We're always expressing ourselves every day by what we choose to wear, by the music we listen to, the books we read, whatever. We are communicating something about who we are by choosing certain things that signify something about us.
Every emotion that you could think of, every story that you could think to tell, anything that you've been through in life, survived, been weighed down by, questioned, no worries, no judgments, no doubts, no stress. You're just living. And that is a true dance term, living. Dance therapy, it's what it is. It's a place like no other, whether you're on stage by yourself, whether you're on there with other people, it doesn't matter. It's a space and place that is just at peace.
It was really exciting and gratifying to think back over what has happened over this last year, since 62% of Portlanders overwhelmingly passed this groundbreaking new piece of legislation. This fall, in September, when schools started their year again, 70 teachers of arts, music, dance, and drama at the elementary school level are fully funded through the Arts Education and Access Fund. And our local Arts Council, the Regional Arts and Culture Council, is preparing to make grants to as many as 40 nonprofit arts organizations to increase access to the arts citywide through their programming.
Hi, my name is Lori Shippey and I'm an art teacher at Peninsula K-8. I think the support that I've gotten from my school and my principal at the time, Mr. Galindo, has been remarkable. And I received a $1,000 budget, which I was really happy with, to buy supplies and tools and things that I needed. I hope that this year it's obvious to the public and the taxpayers that the arts tax has worked, and to provide opportunities for the public to see that and to invite them into our classrooms and to experience the benefits of K-5 art education. And I would hope that because of that, that voters and taxpayers would be encouraged to and be open to providing more money, paying more taxes to have art in schools.
I'm really, really, really happy that we've passed the art tax because it's so important to get art into the lives of children. As a child, having art in your life, it opens new doors. You see the world in a new way. In school is really where you make connections, and art helps you connect to other people your age. And I'm really excited for the new opportunities kids in public school are gonna have now that we've passed the art tax. And I'm really, really excited for the renovation to this building. We're gonna have a black box theater for dance and drama. We're gonna have a completely new dance room and with a proper dance floor. And I'm really excited for all the things that my younger sister and all her friends and all of the people in this beautiful community are gonna be able to have.
Raise your hand if you know what makes a bass in here. Mario. Tipping the drum is important, right? Because otherwise, everybody tilt your drum and then play without tilting it. Ain't no bass there. So now, what's the other things that make a bass stroke different than, say, a tone,
What I like about drumming class, there's like a lot of stuff that you could do, like a lot of drumming, and it's really fun. I learned about drumming that there are basses and tones, and before drumming I didn't know them.
Butter and bread, butter and bread, butter and bread, butter and... Awesome.
I like to dance because I just have fun and I can just hang out with my friends and be myself.
I enjoy it because I get to do what I want to do, because dancing it's just not about, it's not about your moves, it's not about whatever, it's about enjoying it and having fun.
How do you feel when you're drawing or being creative?
I feel confident.
Oh, I didn't do the story.
And I feel happy.
So, Mom, I just want to say that you've been my biggest supporter, my #1 supporter, and you believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. So I would just like to thank you for always being there and being my shoulder to cry on and rely on when I needed support and when I wanted to give up on myself. And you've just always been there. You've always been a good role model for me since you were 19, which is that's like a year older than me. So you've always been there and you've always, held your responsibilities, and I just want to thank you.
Oh, I appreciate that, Alexis. That means a lot to me.
And don't cry.
I know, you know me so well. I'm trying not to. Thank you.
So tell us what's next. I heard you got into some colleges.
Yeah, I got into Warner and PSU. My first choice is PSU because they have a great business program there, and I want to major in business and minor in music because my dream is to have my own hair care business. But I love music. Music is my passion, so I wanted to put a little bit of music in there, so that's why I'm going to minor in music and then major in business so I can have my own hair care products. Well, this might sound a little cliche, but the biggest thing I would say is just to never give up. And I know a lot of people say that, but those words are really powerful because there can be so many people telling you, oh, you can't do this because of this, you can't do that because of that, or you might go through something in life that might discourage you from following your dreams. But if you work hard for it, then you'll get it.
Here is just one example of the wonderful acknowledgement that we've gotten and the thanks that have been shared with the Creative Advocacy Network for our work around the Arts Education and Access Fund. This is a giant thank you card for their new music teacher at Atkinson Elementary in the Portland Public School District, filled with incredibly fun comments from students and from teachers. Thank you for your hard work, excited to have music again. Gracias. Thank you, Ken. Music changes lives. My son thinks you are the best piano player in the world. I love that. So much fun. Can leaders, you did it. Thank you for your efforts every day until you made this happen. Music is such a component to a happy and joyous life. Yes, it is.
21. Can't wait till Friday. Every day's a party. Got no regrets, so we ain't saying sorry. Dance all night until the sun lights up. City of the roses knows what's up.
I made mistakes like oopsie. These roses smell like ooh wee. I guess Andre was telling the truth. See?